Greetings, geeks, and welcome to episode 444 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today in pretend low Earth orbit with two of the finest geeks you're ever going to greet. We got Chris Demona.
Hello.
And Rob Roseboom.
Hey there.
Good morning, gentlemen. Like we don't talk for 5 minutes before we press record. Like we can pretend that this is our first introduction.
Who are you guys?
Get off my phone line. Great call.
What are you even doing here in my shed? So, I think that I've turned into a crazy old man in his shed. It's like going a little stir crazy today.
I do like the idea. See, but you're the extrovert.
I know, and I'm in his shed, and I put this like rice paper shoji screen stuff, not shoji from Picard. Shoji screen stuff up on my so it's not like pictures of her, it's just rice paper. Okay.
Right, it's not that you're living in your shoji shrine.
God, that'd be awful. She was not a good character. Anyway, so I've got rice paper over all my windows now, right? Because it both, it keeps the glare down, but it has this, not claustrophobic, but it's a little enclosed now, because I had a lot of light before. So there you go.
See, it's snowing here right now.
I can't. Is that really true?
Yeah.
That's nutty.
See, this is the thing about Michigan. We do get straight. Like, it is not at all unusual to get snow like on Mother's Day. Like, that's possible.
That's wait. Is Mother's Day coming up soon? Crap.
Yeah, you got a couple weeks, but
all right.
We got Kat and my birthday and Mother's Day are always sort of in a cluster. So that's like now I'm stressed out about what am I going to do because we didn't do too much for the in-laws' 50th anniversary and we felt really terrible about it. But now we got birthdays coming up and oh my gosh, we got to figure out some fun stuff to do.
Right. Boy.
Jason wants to know our weight loss secrets.
Our weight loss secrets? I'm sorry, Jason. I have not lost weight, man. I am a significant fellow.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree with that one, buddy.
Yeah, COVID-19 is it's the 19 pounds I've gained. All right, that's an old joke. It's not.
Now, Kat and I both agreed at the start of quarantine that we should probably each gain 5 or 10 pounds just in case we get the COVID, because you kind of want to have that weight, that body mass, in order to live off of if things really happen.
I guess you could always fight with your spouse over territory as a weight loss.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do a lot of dishes. That's exercise, right?
Yeah.
We could put tape down the center of the house and like fight whenever one of us crosses over the tape line.
Oh no, my wife declared the kitchen the senior lounge from my daughter's school. So you can only go in there for lunch and breakfast and after work. Because she's like, nope. This has got to be a place. This is a working kitchen. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. Fine. And she doesn't want people hanging around doing meetings in the kitchen. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, that seems fair.
Yeah, it's totally fair. So she has her office, sort of guest room area, the kitchen. Yeah. Laszlo has his bedroom. Franny has her bedroom, so it's like, and I'm in the shed.
Well,
it's a very civilized shed, but I'm in the shed.
I used to have an office. Now I live in the living room, aptly named.
Wow. You're using the living room with its, for its intended purpose, living. Wait, right. But you're working. So it's a working room.
Yeah. It's a working living room or a living working room.
Or a willing working, lurking.
Yeah.
It's a lurking room. Yeah.
It's a room that I'm allowed to be in. Basically.
The only one. In my house, the biggest problem is really just keeping the maximum number of social distance steps between my children.
Oh, I see. To keep them from killing each other.
Also, the one thing that I really wish we were talking the other day about what we wished our routers had in terms of security things. Mm-hmm. I just literally, I don't care if my children access the internet. I just want the button that says these two PCs can never ping each other for any reason. Because it seems like whenever the two devices can talk to each other, only bad things happen.
What happens though? I mean,
They join each other's little pretend video games, and then
oh
that usually leads
no.
to fights.
I told you about this. Laszlo, when he was younger, he was playing Minecraft PE on the Snowbird network, and
Mhm.
some kid comes in, drops some, some TNT, and then runs off, right?
Yep.
The rest of the trip, every ski lift, every time we stopped, he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you play Minecraft? Huh, really? Were you playing Minecraft a couple days ago?" He was going around accusing every kid under 5 feet of blowing his shit up. It was so funny.
You TNT'd my fort.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm like, Laszlo, let's just ski. Come on. He's like, no, Dad, we have to find that person's a bad person. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. He's a bad person.
There's retribution to have.
Yeah, so my kids do sometimes, like, I can turn off the internet and then they can't connect to the remote server, so that kills Roblox or Terraria. Or no, not Terraria. Terraria and Minecraft both live on the local network, which, I mean, it's just basically a ticking clock for when one of them is going to scream at the other.
Mom, Dad, Alex just blew up my fort.
Right. Today I got up at 6:55 because one kid was hitting the other kid.
In Minecraft, not in real life.
No, actually, in the real world this time.
JB says that he's finishing up his grad school. I thought JB was our age. Grad school class project, which is due tomorrow. Send your favorite JavaScript and React.js secrets. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm sorry, Jason.
I ain't reacting to nothing.
I don't have a favorite JavaScript. That's just, it's too newfangled,
JavaScript? I still think JavaScript is BS. Browsers shouldn't be executing code.
That's all they do now, man.
They should just be HTML dumb terminals.
Yeah, using HTML tables instead of CSS because CSS is for the youngs.
Even HTML, I'm a little worried about tables. I think that might be a little too much. I think we might have gone too far. I think it might have been okay before that.
Really, Gopher is the peak of human technology.
Usenet's fine.
Yeah. Fat clients.
Let's see. I did continue watching Tales from the Loop.
How has it emerged to be a better show?
It is better as it's going along. I'm not sold on it as being great. It's purely gonna come down to if that show pays off its finale or not, because they're doing a really good job of kind of setting up these these chill sci-fi mini stories that are vaguely loosely connected. It's kind of so far it kind of feels like we set 5 episodes of the Twilight Zone in the same town. So there you'll see characters and there's a thread running through them, but it's not like we're following one protagonist through 8 episodes of a show. But like you do see recurring characters, but you're seeing them totally outside of the magical context that you were introduced to them with, and it's fun, but it's super slow and super quiet. Like that is a show that has no problem taking 5 minutes to just get you from point A to point B and talk about how you feel.
That's a lot of talking.
Yeah. I can't say that I would recommend it, but it's not bad. I will say this week's episode of the Clone Wars was fan freaking tastic and just made me so happy, and it was everything that I had hoped for Ahsoka Tano. So that was great.
So let me ask you something. Maybe the future of Star Wars, the problem with Star Wars maybe has been the movies themselves. Maybe they should just, because like Clone Wars, from what I can tell, seems pretty great. Mandalorian, fantastic. I mean, what is it about? Is it they just needed to be a TV series this whole time? And movies were a waste. And now that there's not going to be any more movies, is it going to be great? Am I going to become a Star Wars fan because of COVID and the rest?
I wouldn't hold your breath about that.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing about the Clone Wars too, though, is that half of the episodes of the Clone Wars aren't that good, but the other half are. So it's that kind of thing. The Mandalorian is like mostly pretty good. I think the problem for Star Wars that it has is, I mean, it has so many problems, but when you wait 2 years and then you get one story, if that story isn't the thing you wanted it to be, then you're grumpy for 2 years until you get the next story.
Yeah.
At least with episodic TV, and more so with these with the Clone Wars in particular. Like if you miss, like the Clone Wars are generally like 2 or 3 episode arcs, and if you don't like an arc, then whatever, then 2 episodes from now they're going to follow a different character for 3 episodes, and maybe you'll enjoy that and you won't feel like you're missing out. So at the end of the season, you've seen 3 or 4 movies worth of material, and maybe you didn't like one of those movies, maybe you didn't like 2 of those movies.
It's a wash because you've actually had a chance to enjoy the rest of them.
But it's okay. And so now, like for the current trilogy, if you split it off into 6 action sequences per movie, which is probably not that bad of an estimate, there are like probably half of those sequences are really good across all 3 movies. The problem is that half of them aren't, which means if you end on a movie that has like 4 bad sequences out of 6, until the next Star Wars movie comes out, all you have in your mouth is 4 bad sequences.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I
Speaking
very
of
much
terrible television, though, I mean, you had mentioned before the call started that we have some Picard news.
Oh yeah.
And Picard is, the most important thing on television and such good TV. I felt that we really should talk about this development.
So who's coming in for season 2?
Roseboom.
Well, we're going to have both Guinan and now, if the rumors are true, Jordy.
So I liked Jordy, but I have to say, it's still disturbing to me when I see him without the visor.
It is.
Right.
Okay. It's just, it's wrong. It's just wrong,
I mean, it seems obvious that with all the advances they have, that you would just have eyes instead of some ridiculous visor thing that you have to strap to your face. That makes you prone to, brainwashing by electronic techniques and other things.
Routine hacking.
Yeah. Like great, you can see in the infrared spectrum. Unfortunately, the Kardashians can take over your mind with a video game. So, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
He is wearing his weakness red on his face.
Right.
Well, and then when he lost the visor in the later movies or whatever, he was blue eyes, right?
He had contacts.
Yeah. Well, I figured that, Rob. And it's like, I hate to say it, old blue eyes isn't a good look for him. I want the visor back. So, and he's actually a decent actor. He's obviously a decent guy with this whole reading rainbow thing, and so I if Picard was a better show, I think this would be welcome, to have Jordy back. I can't say the same thing about Guinan because I always hated her character. I mean, I thought it was the worst, in the TNG.
She was a weird one, right? Because her race was supposed to be super long-lived and psychic.
Yeah, it was such a dog's
breath. But then,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so doesn't she, like I have to think back to like her appearances on the show. Like initially, she's just a bartender, right? And then they just keep like adding stuff, and then eventually, she's in what is it? Generations.
Yeah, the handover.
And there's like literally nothing about that movie that's good. And I saw that movie in the theater, man.
Yeah, she's in a lot of important episodes. Like when they first meet the Borg, she was the one warning them about how the Borg is out in this quadrant and they're not ready for it, and yada yada yada. But in the interview, evidently all the cast is potentially going to make an appearance.
Well, I mean, of course they will. I mean, they'll probably bring out Spock's body, and try.
I really want them to get Lieutenant Barclay back.
Yeah,
and find out that he made himself super smart again. That's what I want.
Was Barkley the weird stalker one, or that was
Uh,
no something else?
yeah,
He's
he was obsessed with Troy, right? And
It
so he made all those holodeck
was so.
scenarios where he was like in charge of everything and everyone else was an
I
idiot.
mean, Barkley was like the first Me Too, like in
Yeah,
TNG.
yeah.
and he had like one scene in like what Star Trek 8.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I'd be fine with him. Honestly, I'm fine with them using any of the characters from the original series that makes sense from a story perspective. But as I've been saying over and over and over and over again, all I want from a Star Trek show is for a group of characters that I like to go to planets, have a science fiction adventure on that planet, get off that planet at the end of a 1 or 2 episode story arc, and then go to the next planet and repeat the process. And at the season finale, if you want to tie a bow on it, cool. But if you didn't do those things, then it's not Star Trek to me.
So JB is reminding us of the super important magical gardener character at the Starfleet Academy.
Oh yeah.
It's like, if you think about TNG too hard, there's a lot of questionable stuff in this show. It's not,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a great show. There's a lot of like almost, yeah, there's some
Well,
cheesy crap here. And the whole
Yeah,
10 forward bartender, like, sidle up to the bar, have some Romulan ale. Let's replicate you a martini there, sir. It's very weird.
all I can say is Shaka when the walls fell, gentlemen. I hope those people come back. The people who talked in story, because that's such an efficient way to speak a language.
yeah. I want them to meet up with the original series where there was the dudes with like the white faces and the black faces on each side, and like
Yes.
the most bald faced like metaphor. Like I want every episode should just be that.
Yeah, like that level of ridiculousness.
I'm all in. I do say, when, especially the Next Generation is a really good example for me of like my dream tool, which nobody's ever going to build because of copyright laws. But just like you can go and have people's playlists of TV of songs or whatever on Spotify, I want playlists of TV shows, and I want to be able to choose the 10 episodes of the Next Generation that are worth watching, or the 30 episodes. Like I want, but that should be built into every platform. So when I get to the end of show next episode, if the next episode that's worth watching is 17 episodes down the line, I don't have to go back to my browser tab, find the next. Oh yeah, that's the bookmark. Okay, now I got to skip this, go back to the episode guide. I want it just to know this is the playlist I'm following. And when I started it, like I told it if I wanted to watch a 10 episode list or a 60 episode list, like I could see rewatching 30 episodes of Buffy. But there's no way that I'm going to rewatch 160 episodes of
Yeah.
Buffy.
The problem with that, though, is even the shitty episodes have some bit of history sometimes that you need to know to fully appreciate some of the later episodes.
What you really want, you want the good episode, the summary of the intervening things that matter, not the 10 forward episode, where it's all about the history of 10 forward and how they got real alcohol, but the alcohol vaporizes when you leave 10 forward or something. I don't know.
You know what they need to do? Oh my God. So you know how you do, you could actually, maybe you couldn't automate this. So during baseball season, you watch the recap of the ball game, and they have for like, I can actually choose like a 3-minute summary or like a 20-minute summary or the full game. Well, what you want is every episode to be compressed down to those levels, like at its most compressed level. What you want is, here's the 2 scenes that advance the plot line or a major character point, but don't show me the whole episode. Just give me the clip to remind me of these 2 people kissed. Okay, cool. Show me 30 seconds around that, because the actual episode sucked. So then you could watch 1 minute per episode to jump you through half a season if the middle of the season sucked. But that's very different than when you get the general recap of the episode, because the general recap tries to like hit all the plot points, and you don't really want that. You actually kind of want just like facts and character beats. So
Right.
let's get right on that. Copyright will make that easy.
Well, I mean, there's some people have orders for watching Star Wars,
Totally.
Star Trek. I mean, like when I was introducing my daughter to Star Trek, I went to go watch the original series again. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. This is terrible. And so I showed her, I think the Botany Bay episode, and then I went straight to Wrath of Khan. I skipped everything,
Ooh,
and honestly,
yeah.
that was fine. She's not really a super sci-fi fan, so it works out. But yeah, it's
You
it's
mean you didn't want to show her the episode where the alien race brings Abraham Lincoln back to life so he can fight
Oof.
Genghis Khan?
Well, I mean, there probably would have been a couple I would have chosen, but they were deeply sexist. Like these old Star
Yeah.
Treks are not good. Like I'm a pretty progressive guy. I like my daughter. I don't want her to grow up, and the Star Trek's weird Kirk, putting his hand on the
Right,
ass of every
right.
passing Majel Barrett. It's
I mean, slightly better than the 50s movies where if a woman was upset, you would shake them and slap them in the face. Slightly better than that, but still a long way from being good.
yeah.
Well,
So
it's actually kind of worse too with Star Trek, just because Star Trek episodes in the 60s, they're all like 49, 50, 51 minutes long. So they all have that old-timey pacing. That makes it so much worse. Like, at least if you were to try to rewatch Enterprise episodes are like 39 minutes long. You can really cook through episodes of Enterprise pretty dang fast, even though there's not very many good ones.
yeah.
You could do it. Okay, here's the question. Uh, Before you get nailed with a copyright strike on the YouTubes, could you edit down every single episode of a TV show? Edit it down from like its 45-minute runtime, edit it down to 2 minutes, but then like but with enough talking head voiceover in order to tell you that, like, you're going to show me a 45-minute show, you're going to show it to me in 3 minutes, but like you're going to voice over the major plot lines and just give me the 30-second character beats that I care about. And then you could actually have your playlist could choose between full episodes and super super abbreviated episodes. I imagine you'd be copyright strike to hell over that.
Well, I mean, there are people who do exactly that. Like, here's a man of recaps. He's 120,000 subscribers. All he does is recaps, and he's got clips. He's got all the rest. I mean, this is a well-trodden space.
But what
And
I
they're
specifically
3
want
minutes,
to get
12
to,
minutes, and 23 minutes. And
see, that's what I don't want. I like, the whole goal is to turn.
but what do the
Okay,
people want? What do the people want, Mr.
well,
Malda?
I don't care what the people want. I care what I want. What I want is to be able to watch season 5 of Buffy to pick at random, but I only want to watch 6 of the 6 best episodes, and I want the rest of the episodes to be bridged as entertainingly and efficiently, as economically as possible, so that I don't miss any cool plot lines, character moments, a really good scene, maybe. Like turn a 24 episode season into 6 episodes plus an hour worth of recap, giving me just the best of to glue between them.
Okay, rewind a little bit. Here's the thing. I forgot to tell you guys about this incredible thing. Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thing, and then I have to tell you about a thing.
I got nothing, man. This is we got 6 more minutes. Tell me your thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
There's
think
a
we beat
great
this horse
channel,
enough.
and you're probably already subscribed to it. There's a great channel. It's called Let's Game It Out, and it's a guy. He plays games, but he does stupid things in the games. Like there's a cooking game, and so he tried to make the food in the cooking game, but he actually created an enormous domino structure that exploded the kitchen, but also cooked food while doing it. So he basically takes games to their logical extreme, physics wise. It's so funny. It's called Let's Game It Out. The one that's pending in my queue is I built a 600-meter human cannon that ends all existence. Looks like it's in Satisfactory or in No Man's Sky. I don't know, but it's so funny.
I'm trying to find a game that I'm interested in
Let's Game It Out.
from
Oh,
his.
no, that's the thing. You actually just, if you only watch one, I built a colony designed for perpetual suffering. You know, it's like I forced an entire kingdom to be homeless. You know, it's like I built an unethical zoo on the moon.
Hey, Mr. Josh, welcome. All right, I've added this to my watch list.
Yes, this is
is he language safe for children?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so if you the one I'd start with is I turned my kitchen into an insane domino maze. It was so funny, I was practically crying. So yeah,
I got to tell you, man, we live in dark times, and I would really enjoy watching something so funny that it made me cry.
This can often be that. I'm a lunatic chef that cooks using explosives.
I mean, because what you're describing mostly just sounds to me like watching Rob ruin the auction house in Orgrimmar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or watching Bates, play Dwarf Fortress. Yeah.
Or Nate playing The Sims and then walling in the old people in the attic.
Yep.
And never giving them food.
See, what's funny is that they stand there and pee on themselves.
Oh,
good times.
Poor old people.
I
wonder if they anyone introduced COVID into a game yet. I'd imagine someone must have.
I've been wondering this for a while. Like, when are we going to start seeing the truly creative? Like, right now, we're not seeing anything more creative than TikTok videos and like talk show monologues from bedrooms. Like, when are we going to start seeing the true creative art that comes out of this? Something's going to happen.
Yeah, like the people trapped on the cruise ship should have made their own society.
Right?
I mean, they were in international waters. They should have made their own country while they're out there.
Yeah, so there's a cruise ship. We should tell them what we're talking about.
Yeah, so there was 3 cruise ships. One in particular that left Italy on January 5th, and they've all been denied going to port this whole time. Well, last week they were finally allowed to come into a port, and those people were allowed to, go wherever it is they live, presumably.
Not the boat.
But yeah, there was one, the Magnifica, had been out to sea for 117 days.
The Magnifica.
And I cannot imagine. I mean, that magic trick act, that magician act, whatever lounge singer they had, I bet that show got really old really fast.
It was called Avenue 5.
Actually, that was the one thing about Avenue 5 that kind of cracked me up, was the comedian who was just terrible. And he's like, well, I'm going to give my comedy show again. And it's just like, that's torture. That's a good torture right there, So
I'm all in.
Yeah, I know, but the Magnifica, the thing is, they didn't contract coronavirus from what I can tell, right? They would pull up to ports, and the ports are like, no, cruise ship's bad. Here's some fuel, here's some food, get the F out.
There definitely were some cruise ships that had coronavirus patients on it.
Florida one.
But these ones in particular, no, they didn't have anyone with the virus on it. Everything was locked down, and no one wanted to take a chance.
Yeah. They didn't let them off the boat. They didn't let anyone on the boat. They just, you could leave the boat if you were going to then fly home, But
I heard a thing yesterday that was saying, like, we may be looking at the sort of thing where, like, to enter a lot of countries, you actually have to be quarantined just to enter a country. And if that happens, then suddenly maybe the point of cruise ships comes back, right? You're going to be quarantined. Fine, be quarantined. It takes you 2 weeks to get across the ocean. You get to where you're going, but you were quarantined on the boat the whole time, so you can walk off the boat and be wherever you're going. That actually, like, would maybe be the one way that we could.
And if you die, they just drop you off in the sea. It's fine.
Yep.
It would be interesting if that revitalized ocean travel and that became a thing again. You're
Well,
gonna have to be quarantined anyway.
Industry, that you can solve the problems of the morgues getting filled up and the quarantine issue. Right. is a terrible idea, Mr. Malda.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go where you're going and then sit in an apartment for 2 days or 2
No,
weeks?
people aren't going to travel. They're just not going to travel. That's it. It's over. Travel's dead until we have a vaccine.
I mean, I'm
It's
okay
in-
with that.
Yeah.
I don't really like going places like very far.
I don't know, man. I love traveling. It's the best thing about my job. Is
You still have to come out here so we can drink that fancy bottle of Picard
That's
wine.
a Picard, man. Yeah, I mean,
We'll have to save that for the premiere of season 2, where Jordy shows up, and I bet he goes back to his original visor at some point. That's my prediction right now. At some point in the next season, Jordy will go back to some form of his classic visor.
of course, he'll put it on.
Berries.
Darn, yeah, member berries. Yeah, the darn contact lenses aren't working. They were hacked by Guinan. I'm gonna have to swap them out. And it's like,
Not gonna lie, I'd kind of like it to be like a helmet, like if he just gets an upgrade,
like a PUBG helmet.
so like so you can actually go out into space and stuff now,
Yeah.
and yeah, something like Star-Lord,
Yeah, Borg can be in space. I don't understand why Borg couldn't be in space, but they
Right.
showed Borg walking around in space. And
Right.
then I guess they couldn't.
They kill them by ejecting them into space. And I'm like, really? I didn't, if they had said, we'll eject them into space and they won't be able to get back on. No, they exposed them to space, and that was the death. And I'm like,
Right.
really?
7 of 9 could have just
movies.
7 of 9 could have just beamed them back. You telling me they don't have a transporter on the whole freaking Borg cube?
They have a transjector. They can transject anywhere in the universe. They can beam a couple of dumb, corpsicles back on.
So what you're saying is you haven't changed your mind about Picard.
I have not changed my mind about Picard. It's terrible.
All right, gentlemen. Let's say goodbye to Jake, to Elon. Oh, wait, who was the other? There was another thing that we need to mention to try to boost our ratings.
Oh, I don't remember.
There was something that we did that had like the highest, that we got more streams because I did it.
Not COVID. It was like one of your titles.
Was
right?
it? Yeah. Are you talking about that? The title?
No, I mean, if we mention it, then I can put it in the title and feel good about myself. But I'll just make sure to mention Elon Musk a lot. That seems to work.
No.
It was Karen. It was Karen, dude.
Oh, Karen.
Carol. Yeah.
Carol.
Carol. Yeah.
So we gotta hop on what's new and cool now that Tiger King is old hat.
Well, I think that Tiger King is pretty used up. Yeah. Well, there's COVID. There's always COVID.
No, I don't like COVID. It's not my friend.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, that's really all that's in the news.
Yeah. Sorry.
You aren't kidding. You aren't kidding.
Oh, well, that's partially true. That's partially true. We have yeah, that's it. That's all there is.
That's all there is.
I did see yesterday, it was slightly entertaining to me, that Rob Lowe's Twitter feed is aggressively trolled by his 2 sons,
That's
which I thought was kind of funny.
Like-
every picture
like
he posts,
mean-spirited?
some of it's a little mean-spirited. Well, I take that, but none of it is. Well, it's like friendship mean-spirited. It's
Gotcha.
the kind of shitty stuff you can say to a friend,
The kind of stuff that we'll say in 2.5 minutes after I stop recording. but
Sure,
we'll just
sure.
say that here.
like more aggressively.
Gotcha.
So anyway, it was, most of it is like promo pictures for stuff, and they shit on it and talk about how terrible he looks, or how
Oh.
I don't know, all kinds of different stuff. It's actually kind of funny.
What you're saying is Rob Lowe's Twitter feed is the new hot follow from Rob Roseboom.
New hot follow, everybody.
In these sad days, unfortunately.
That's right. Are we gonna watch Superman? Is that what we're doing now?
Okay, yeah. So here's the plan. We're gonna watch every comic book movie that came in the color era.
Oh,
I think that's the way to go.
so you're talking like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking like we start early, like 70s era, Spider-Man, if there's a terrible 70s era
All
Spider-Man.
I'm saying is we can't do it sequentially because that's too limiting. We gotta skip around.
Yeah, also it'll be torture, and no one will want to watch the early episodes. But then again, no one's watching now, so who cares, right?
Yeah.
This is about us, Malda. This is about us, Rosebud.
Well, look, you know me. I will literally watch any movie right now.
So, anyways, I thought that we could start with Superman, the Christopher Reeves, not George Reeves, Christopher Reeves, Superman. Let's see, comic book. What
right.
would be another good one?
That's our homework. We'll throw a spreadsheet up or something and let
list of films based on comics, and we'll stick to English language. We won't go Basque or Polish or the rest.
And are we talking just superhero comics or all comics?
Ooh, I think we should have a flexible view of things. You know, like we should be like not Dark Tower, you know, because it's not really a superhero, but even though the guy with a gun is like a gun guy. But
Well,
maybe
that's a
Wanted,
book.
maybe, you know, like Kick Ass, you know,
Kick-Ass,
like right. So
no, I think we should throw a spreadsheet up and let Jake and Jason make suggestions and shape us a, little.
I think that's not a bad idea to have a form, but we should.
I mean, we can you know, push things. We can cheat. But I got to tell you, man, I don't want to watch Supergirl. I've seen Supergirl. I don't need to see that again.
Oh, what was the one? It had Christy Swanson in it, and it was about she was like a rebel or something. Oh, it's so bad.
But it wasn't.
Oh, was it the Ode of Billie Jean or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm glad that we've seen the same horrible movies, Chris.
Well,
I think that's what it's called.
Pump Up the Volume also happened right around then, and so like there was this like stream of bad like kids rebelling against, you know, the adult world, but they weren't good. Like Pump Up the Volume was tolerable because it had a great soundtrack, but yeah, no, she was. Where is it? It's
Come on, man, Christy Swanson. She was in Mannequin 2.
Yeah, that's
she really became a nutter though. She got
that's called like the story or the legend of Billie Jean. That one.
Legend. It was a legend, right? Because gosh, was
All
that
right. Well, I'll definitely watch Superman today. That's a great movie. I could use a little joy.
It wasn't her.
Little John Williams.
It was Helen Slater, who's so much better than Kristen Swanson. Christy Swanson.
I've seen a lot of her movies.
Kristen Slater's sister.
All right, gentlemen, I'm pressing the goodbye button.
And she was Supergirl. Why did I think Christy Swanson was Supergirl?
She's not Supergirl, and I don't know why you kept saying it.
I should turn in my nerd card. But yeah,
no, okay. There is nothing redeeming about that Supergirl movie. It is really bad. And you know me, big target, big bullseye board. So what you're saying is we should definitely watch Supergirl and watch I'll do it, but I'm only going to do it if Rob agrees to do it. Okay. Well, we should let's put together a spreadsheet, and you know, let's put together a spreadsheet. All right. Let's start with Superman though, because that's fun. That's happy. That'll make Superman 1. No, definitely. That's one, right? So definitely. All right, folks. This has been episode 444 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, saying goodbye to my greatest geek friends pretending to be in low Earth orbit. Chris DeBona. Hi. Goodbye, everybody. Rob Roseboom.
See you. Bye.
All right. If you want to watch along with us, I guess it's Superman. No, we're not going to make them watch us watch it. We're just going to come back. Maybe we'll have a couple clips. Maybe we'll have a couple watch it on your own. We're not your mom. We're not your mom.
Yeah. Watch on your own. We'll make notes and discuss.
Yeah.